Godayan. Hey everyone, it's Eric, and it's time for the Icelandic thing of the day. So yesterday we covered weak verbs, which are verbs that accomplish their various grammatical changes by putting suffixes onto the end of the word. Especially in the past tense, where all of the various past tense changes are made by including some form of dental suffix, a D, a T, or an eth. Today I want to look a little bit at strong verbs. I'm not going to go quite into as much depth on the strong verbs as I did on the weak verbs, mainly because strong verbs are so idiosyncratic. There are 3 classes of them in the present tense and arguably 7 or 8 classes of them in the past tense. And those 2 things don't actually have anything to do with each other. So it's a very complicated grammatical system. And so I just want to give you an overview of how it works. If you're interested in it, then maybe I can go into this in more detail in some later videos, or you can look into it yourself. So this is how at least one strong verb works. So the one I'm using as our example today is aftaka, to take, just like in English, which is a class 3, strong verb. So let's look at the present tense. So if this were a weak verb, like elda, to cook, which is what we looked at yesterday, then this would break down as yetaka, thutakar, hanatakar, and so on. That's not how it works with the strong verbs. Instead, we have this vowel change. So the A turns into an E. Yetek, thuteker, han, hun, thaf, teker, vith, tolkum, because, well, the E only exists in the singular. You see that it turns back into an A here. A and U can't exist in the same place because Icelandic is incredibly frustrating. So it becomes tolkum, then taketh, taka. That's the present tense. Class 4 and class 5 have different kinds of vowel changes that happen within the context of those verbs in the present tense, and that's what causes them to be in different. That's what causes them to be in the different classes. Now, in the so the weak class 1 and 2 weak verbs, when they go into the past tense, they still do everything by a suffix. That's not how it works with the strong verbs. Instead, the strong verbs also do internal vowel changes, which is something that's called an Ablaut series. All the Germanic languages have it for their strong verbs. We have it in English. You'll notice that most English verbs form a past tense by adding a dental suffix. But some, particularly some really core verbs, tend to form their past tense by doing internal vowel change. So think of the verb to sing. Sing, sang, sung. That's an Ablaut series. We determine whether or not it's in the past tense and what particular voice it's in by virtue of the vowel that's there. Sing is present, sang past. We have sung. So same kind of thing is happening in Icelandic. So here, ataka belongs to number 6, at least in the schema that Jon Seeland gave us, which is a, o, and then it can be a or e in the past participle. We're not going to look at the past participle right now. So ataka, and then in the past tense, yetok, thu tokst, han, hun, thaf, tok, vith tolkum, vith tolketh, and there, thire, tha, tolku, which should look familiar to you because take, took in English. So also a strong verb in the English language as well, and in fact doing a very similar thing. Take, took, taka, tok. You can hear that the vowels are very similar. So that Ablaut series here is infinitive A, singular, past singular it should be said, O, infinitive, or not infinitive, what am I talking about? Plural past, O, and then the past participle, AE. The past participle is what you would use in a construction like let me be sure I'm not screwing this up. Jeg have toketh, which means I have taken. You use it in constructions with the verb hafa for constructions like to have done something. So there are 7 different Ablaut series, and they don't actually have anything to do with the present tense classes of the verbs. So you can have strong verbs in classes 3, 4, and 5 in the present, and then they're just all over the place in terms of Ablaut sequences. It all depends on what verbs show up where. And the goal is that eventually you come to recognize what a particular vowel in the infinitive signals as it changes. And I think I might have just said verb when I meant vowel in the middle of a word a second ago. Anyway, so you just have to recognize that if you see an A in the infinitive and you know it's a strong verb, then you can predict it will go to O, A, as you go along. So some other Ablaut sequences that exist in Icelandic are E, accented I, to EI, to I, to I. Yo, ya, to oi, u, o. And then there's, 4 or 5 others. So really, strong verbs are very complicated. There's also a lot of exceptions in the strong verbs that don't exist in the weak verbs. So unfortunately, a lot of them just have to be learned by heart, and there's no other way of doing it. But at the same time, English speakers, we really don't have any room to talk because we have so many irregular verbs ourselves that form their past tenses in totally unexpected ways. So that's how strong verbs work, and that's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the night, is trying to learn more strong verbs and figure out exactly how those Ablaut sequences work. So, hope the video was interesting to you. Tomorrow we leave for Iceland, so I will have my last video here in Minneapolis tomorrow. I'll see if I can find some kind of fun sentence to include in here for that. So until tomorrow, thanks for watching, and love you all. Bye.